Good morning, afternoon, and evening around the globe. This is TradeSite's economic preview and general market overview for Forex for the week beginning Sunday, January 6th, going into Friday, January 11th. I'm going to be YouTubing these economic discussions now. We'll keep the actual trade call reports private and separate, but we will be putting these out publicly from here on forward. So this is sort of your roadmap for the week in terms of global data that's going to be coming out to affect the Forex market. So we have now gotten into the first of the year. Let's start by taking a look at the US dollar index here on the right center of your screen, and you can see that we've got a 9-bar move up that was completely turned into nothing here after the second day of the year. Got a nice move up and moved a little bit further on Friday. Now if I were to draw some key trend lines on this chart, what you're going to notice is that we did break the downtrend line that's been in place, and we're actually closed above it, and there was sort of an uptrend that you can draw off of these levels here that had been in place. So overall, I would say if there was a triangle wedge that was forming in the market, okay, we've broken it to the upside, which is good for the US dollar index coming right after the US fiscal cliff. And you can even extend this particular chart out, take it from way back here and line it up with the hold on, let me do it this way. You can line it up with this point all the way out to these points, the lows of there and everything. You can see that that's sort of the support level. So we've been in sort of a general uptrend for the last year. Here's the general downtrend for the last year. That gives you the wedge, and it was going to break one way or the other. Broke to the upside here. So let's look at data that's going to be coming out this week, just so you can plan accordingly. We are going back to full size on Forex based on improved ranges the last few days. If it drops back off sharply, then we'll go back to half size. But I'm going to go ahead and give it a whirl here as we're entering 2013. So on Sunday night, we've got monetary base out of Japan. That is not a major number. And I'm actually going to slide this over so everybody can see it. And that's the only piece of data that's coming out on Sunday night. On Monday, we've got out of Switzerland foreign currency reserves, the Halifax HPI out of the UK, PPI out of Europe. None of that's too big of a deal. Trade balance out of Australia Monday night. These are all Eastern times in the US. 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Monday is the Australian trade balance data. On Tuesday, we've got in the wee hours of the morning the unemployment rate out of Switzerland. We've got German and French trade balance out of Europe, retail sales out of Europe, unemployment rate out of Europe. That's a lot of data coming out around 5 a.m. Eastern time Tuesday morning out of Europe. And then we've got the consumer credit number Tuesday afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern time here in the U.S. Not a big deal. Building consents out of New Zealand that night. New home sales and retail sales out of Australia. China's got trade balance, new loans, and money supply, but there's no specific time for those releases. They're just generally coming out during the week. Trade balance out of the U.K. at 4:30 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday morning, and the final GDP for Q3, that's Q3, not Q4, out of Europe at 5 a.m. Eastern time. Again, not a big deal. German industrial production. U.S. 10-year bond auction is on Wednesday, and the crude oil data comes out on Wednesday as well. Trade balance out of New Zealand Wednesday night. Not a big deal. And then going into Thursday, the wee hours, leading indicators out of Japan, French industrial production and CPI. We've got a rate announcement out of the Bank of England. That's at 7 a.m. Eastern time. And also out of the ECB, the bank out of the Central Bank of Europe, at 7:45 a.m. Eastern time Thursday morning. So we'll be half size going into those with our calls that night. Building permits out of Canada. Press conference about the rate announcement, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday morning. U.S. data includes unemployment claims for jobless claims expected around 366,000. Wholesale inventories coming out at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Natural gas numbers. 30-year bond auction is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. A couple of speeches out of key Fed members during the day. Then we've got current account out of Japan Thursday night, along with bank lending. China releasing its CPI and PPI data. And then Friday, the economy watcher sentiment out of Japan, CPI out of Switzerland, manufacturing production and industrial production out of the UK. We've got the 10-year bonds out of Europe. And then here's the big one for the U.S., the trade balance number. That is one of our big three every month that we go half size ahead of. So we'll be half size going into Thursday and going into Friday based on the rate announcements out of Europe and the UK and out of the trade balance number here in the U.S. And then we've got the Treasury budget number at 2 p.m. Eastern time on Friday. Everybody's already gone home at that point in time. So there's your preview of the week. very back-end loaded in terms of the data. There's no holidays, there's nothing to worry about, but definitely be looking at those key numbers Thursday morning and Friday morning to have an impact on the market. We'll see what goes from there. Everybody have a good trading week.